Good evening. Welcome to Doorway to the Paintings, and this is really a painting that I love. I think it's like a dream. Reminds me of a dream. Really does. I think it's very beautiful. Some people I know think it's kind of scary, but I understand that. But to me, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Very dreamy. It's a place that I like to go to in a dream. It's very enchanting, very charming. The leaves, the fog, the dark trees in the background. It's definitely one of my favorites. Little Rain. It's one I like very much. So let's take a closer look at it. Yeah, it reminds me of a dream, a very pleasant dream. I think it's just really a beautiful painting. Very pleasant area. The fog. Yeah, this is what dreams are made of. Beautiful dreams. You can see just barely see the tree trunk and the roots coming down. Yeah, there's a lot of inspirations that went into this painting. Childhood dreams and then dreams as an adult. I remember when I was a kid, I used to walk. As a kid, I used to have dreams where I usually started off on my parents' front porch, and it was totally dark. The neighborhood was kind of darker than normal, but you could still tell it was the same neighborhood that you were normally in. And I would walk or float off the porch, the front porch. And I actually think it looks better when it's a little darker. It looks more like nighttime. But I would float. I would walk or float or fly over the neighborhood when I floated or when I flew in my dream. Sometimes I would start off walking and then I would fly. But sometimes I had a hard time flying, though. It was almost like I was trying to swim and I was moving slow. Sometimes it would be fast in a dream. Sometimes it'd be like Superman, which was a big influence on my flying dreams. I really love the Superman movies with Christopher Reeve. Had a lot of dreams around the subject of the neighborhood, and the dreams were so real. They were so real that I could smell the roses. I mean, the spring air. I can smell, in the dream, I can smell it, unless my imagination was really vivid. But, yeah, some of my favorite dreams, I'll never forget those. Those were beautiful dreams. And then, of course, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, particularly, and Halloween one, but particularly where Nancy was walking in her neighborhood at nighttime in the dream looking for Freddy. It's one of my very favorite parts of the Nightmare on Elm Street movie because it was so beautiful. In Nightmare 1, where she walks off her parents' porch and the neighborhood's beautiful. It's dark, you see the trees and the shadows and a little mist. That was a heavy inspiration on me, and why it influenced me to paint a lot of these types of paintings along with my own dreams and imaginations. Really some beautiful dreams. And yeah, I can almost smell the rain. Almost smell the rain now just by thinking about it. Got the leaves. I often like to paint leaves on the actual tree trunks when I'm painting. Not always, obviously I don't all the time, but often I do. I think it is a beautiful effect. And then the music in Nightmare on Elm Street, it was so enchanting, especially when Heather Langenkamp was walking through the neighborhood looking for Freddy, and Glenn, played by Johnny Depp, was supposed to keep an eye on her. That's one of the best scenes, I think, of the whole movie. And then, of course, Halloween 1, where Jamie Lee Curtis is walking across the street at night to the other house, and the way the trees looked, the way the wind blew and blew leaves. I really love that. Both were great movies, very well done. Heather Langenkamp and Jamie Lee Curtis always do a good job, and of course the great directors, Wes Craven and John Carpenter, two of my favorites of all time. And then Robert Englund bringing the Freddy Krueger character to life more than anyone ever has and probably ever will. But this dream here is just the beauty aspect of those thoughts and imaginations and inspirations from those movies. And then also the howling. And the original Wolfman 2, and movies where you see mist coupled with my own imagination and just those childhood dreams really weighed heavily on my decisions when I painted many of these types of paintings. The dark leaves hanging down, I love that. Wish I could play the nightmare music, but I can't. To my knowledge, I can't. Well, maybe I could. I've seen other people in their videos play it, I think. And the Halloween music, I might have to look into that, but I love that music. Two of the best scores in movie history. Nightmare, especially the first one, and then Halloween Part 1 and 2. John Carpenter made great music, really did, and I thought they stepped it up in Part 2, actually. I like how they added the synthesizer and bass sound to Halloween 2. I actually liked the music better. But yeah, this painting was just painted to be pleasant, enchanting, beautiful. I could see how people would think it's scary, but I just love this. I'd like to be there. I'd like to walk through there. Just walk and I'd like to see this video before I went to sleep, but you're not supposed to watch videos really before you go to sleep. I never do, actually. I just turn the volume down and listen if I want to listen to something, or just have the quiet. But yeah, protect your eyes from that ultraviolet light, and even filters don't do 100% of a job of protecting your eyes. Not completely, but yeah, this is definitely something I like to have in my mind and imagine before I drift off to sleep. Look at the dark, something about the dark shadows. Where's your imagination take you? Will it lead you to another world? Is there something under the earth? Is Freddy going to be around the corner? Is he going to be behind the tree? Or Michael? Or the werewolf with his claw? Yeah, I really like those particular types of trees. And then, of course, you could see the stars through the tree limbs and the fog in the background. I imagine this kind of being like not only a dream, but like you're in a neighborhood And it's a nice neighborhood, very, very nice neighborhood with nice houses. And then you kind of walked away from the neighborhood into the realm of the forest or a park. Or maybe you walked away from a house and this tree could be close to the house, and then this is where the forest starts over here. That's another way to look at it. The fog. Yeah, this really stimulates my imagination. It's almost like the fog is going to start moving. That'd be something if it did start moving. I always figured where there's mist here and you can't really tell what's on the ground, what if there's a hole that took you to another dimension? Or if some shadow came up or something was here, you just couldn't see it from another realm or another dimension. There's many, many paintings that I've done where I have characters, and then there's many where I don't have any characters. But this is obviously one where I don't have any characters. But it didn't need any. It didn't need any. If I remember right, I think somebody asked Thomas Kincaid about some of his paintings and why he didn't have characters in those paintings that they were talking about. And I think he said the paintings are for the viewer, or the paintings are for you, the person watching, the person viewing his paintings. So he didn't have any characters in those particular paintings. I'd have to look into that again, but I think he said because it's for you. This would be for you. Not the character or potential character, but just for the audience. This is your place. Painted for you. Beautiful. Well, I hope you have sweet dreams. I hope this painting inspires you to have dreams like I did when I was a kid. When I floated off the porch or flew, it just felt so awesome. Just a sense of freedom. Wonderful sense of freedom. And I tried to fly a little faster, but I couldn't. Like I said, I was moving slow. And it was almost like a swimmer trying to swim. So I started moving my arms like I was trying to do the frog, or whatever they call it. Swim like a fish or a frog. I don't even know if I tried to doggy paddle or not. But it was almost like I was swimming. But the thing is, I can smell the trees and the flowers and the spring air. It was so realistic. I don't think I was out of my body. I could have been. I know I'm pretty sure I have been out of my body a couple times. And I wasn't going to tell you. I wasn't going to get into it, but since I brought it up, yeah, I think I went out of my body at least once when I was working up at my uncle's place on the property. His boss had a lot of acres, like 40 acres, and I worked on the ranch up there, and I went to sleep in the barn. I had my tent out there and a little mattress, and I wasn't very comfortable, but I finally got to sleep. And in my dream, I thought I was dreaming, but I think I was out of my body, but it seemed very realistic. It could have been a dream, but I don't think so. I dreamt that I went down to my parents' house. I walked to the porch, and I tried to open the door, I think. But anyway, I knocked on the door. That's what happened. I knocked on the door. And then the dream ended, and I woke up back at my uncle's place in the morning where he worked. And then the next day, my dad said someone knocked on the door in the middle of the night, really late, like 3 a.m. or like between 2 and 4 a.m., something like that. So might have been one of those times I actually went out of the body. So something, it's food for thought, everybody. So I hope you like this painting, and if you liked it, please subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll be back as soon as I can with another video. Good night.